The emergency sirens echoed across New York, London, and every major city on Earth. Red lights flashed in the dark night sky as millions of humans looked up, wondering what had gone wrong. In the UN Emergency Command Center, General Sarah Chen stared at the main screen with cold anger in her eyes. The face of Ambassador James Wilson appeared on the screen, his uniform torn and smoke filling the background of his office on the Galactic Council station. Earth Command, this is an emergency transmission. We've been betrayed. I repeat, we have been betrayed. The room fell silent. Only the sound of beeping computers could be heard as military officers and world leaders watched their worst fears come true. The council just passed a secret vote. Wilson coughed as more smoke filled his office. They've declared Earth a threat to galactic stability. They're letting the Drachnid Empire into our space. The council is giving them permission to. He looked over his shoulder as loud banging sounds came from his door. They're giving them permission to cleanse Earth. General Chen's hands tightened into fists. For 10 years, Earth had played nice with the council. They had followed every rule, paid every tax, and bowed to every demand. All of it had been a lie. The aliens had never seen humans as equals. Security forces are breaking in, Wilson said quickly. But you need to know. The Drachnid fleet is already on its way. They'll be there in. The transmission cut off as council peacekeepers burst into the ambassador's office. The main screen went black. In the command center, nobody spoke for several long seconds. They all knew what this meant. The Drachnid Empire was famous for wiping out primitive species and taking their worlds. They had done it 3 times before. And the council had always looked the other way. How long do we have? President Garcia asked, her voice steady despite the news. General Chen checked the deep space sensors. Their fleet will reach Earth in 7 days. The president nodded slowly. Then it's time. She turned to her aide. Call the other world leaders. Tell them to activate Project Phoenix. Authorization code. Humanity stands. Across the planet, hidden doors began to open. In the middle of the Sahara Desert, huge sections of sand slid away to reveal massive hangar doors. Under the Pacific Ocean, secret bases lit up with activity. In the frozen wastes of Antarctica, massive construction facilities began powering up. The aliens thought they knew everything about Earth's military power. They had inspected the small fleet of simple ships humans were allowed to have. They had counted every missile and catalogued every weapon. Their spies had reported that Earth would be easy to conquer. They were wrong. Send the evacuation orders, the president commanded. Get all civilians to the shelters and launch the Ghost Fleet. Deep under the oceans and deserts, thousands of advanced warships waited in secret hangars. While the aliens watched Earth's allowed ships, humans had been building real warships in hidden bases. While council inspectors counted old missiles, new weapons were being tested in secret facilities. The aliens thought humans were primitive. They thought Earth was weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In orbit, Council observation ships watched Earth carefully. Their sensors showed nothing unusual, just a primitive planet about to be cleansed. They didn't notice the advanced stealth systems activating. They couldn't see the massive underground bases preparing for war. Send a message to all Earth forces, President Garcia ordered. Operation Phoenix is now active. This is not a drill. She turned to General Chen. How long until the Ghost Fleet is ready? First wave can launch in 6 hours. Full fleet will be ready in 2 days. The president nodded. The council thinks they're watching a helpless planet waiting to die. Instead, they're about to witness the birth of an empire. She looked at the dark screen where Ambassador Wilson had delivered his final warning. They wanted to destroy humanity. Instead, they've only made us stronger. As the sun set on Earth, millions of humans headed to underground shelters. But they weren't running away in fear. They were clearing the battlefield. Soon, the council would learn why you should never underestimate humans. The real war was about to begin. 20 years ago, When the Galactic Council first contacted Earth, they found what they thought was a simple planet taking its first steps into space. The aliens smiled at human technology, calling it charmingly primitive. That was their first mistake. Deep in an underground base beneath Mount Everest, Dr. Maya Patel stood before the world's leaders. When the aliens came, she said, they showed us their basic ships and simple weapons. They thought they were being generous. A smile crossed her face. They never realized we were studying them, learning their weaknesses. On the massive screen behind her, images showed the truth that the Council never suspected. While Earth built the simple ships the aliens expected, hidden factories under the oceans were creating something very different. The Ghost Fleet. Project Phoenix wasn't just about building ships, Dr. Patel explained. We took their technology and made it better. She pressed a button, revealing a massive hangar filled with sleek black ships. Their stealth systems can hide from normal sensors. Ours can bend light itself. They think their shields are unbeatable. We found a way through them 6 years ago. In orbit, Council spy satellites watched Earth's primitive space stations. Their advanced sensors showed nothing unusual. They couldn't detect the quantum fields hiding whole fleets of ships. They didn't notice the advanced AI systems that were better than anything in Council space. Earth didn't just catch up to alien technology. They had secretly passed it. Admiral James Chen, son of General Sarah Chen, walked through the hidden shipyard under the Pacific Ocean. 5 kilometers of advanced warships stretched before him. Status report, he ordered. Ghost Fleet Alpha is ready for launch, his AI assistant reported. Beta and Charlie fleets will be combat ready in 18 hours. Delta through Hotel fleets are at 95% completion. The Admiral nodded. While the Council thought Earth had maybe 50 ships total, just this one base held over 1,000. And there were 9 more bases just like it hidden around the planet. In the Sahara base, Dr. Patel activated their newest weapon. The Council thinks their quantum communications are unbreakable, she said. But we found a way to not just break them. We can take control of them. Screens lit up showing Council communications across the galaxy. Secret messages, military orders, private conversations. Earth could see them all. They're spreading the news about Earth's containment to all their allies. Dr. Patel reported. They're celebrating. Let them celebrate, Admiral Chen thought. They don't know that humans have hidden bases on 12 of their worlds. Council scientists had dismissed the strange readings from their quantum labs as equipment errors. They were actually signs of human agents using advanced teleporters to slip past their security. Sir, a young officer called out. The Drachnid fleet just passed Jupiter's orbit. They'll be here in 4 days. Admiral Chen smiled. Perfect. Right on schedule. He turned to his command staff. Begin Operation Ghostwalker. Launch the stealth probes. I want eyes on every Council world before we strike. In space, invisible ships slipped past Council patrols. On alien worlds, hidden human agents activated long-dormant equipment. In secret bases across Earth, millions of soldiers prepared for a war the enemy didn't know was coming. The Council thought they were about to destroy a primitive species. Instead, they had started a chain of events that would reshape the galaxy. Humanity wasn't just ready for war. They had been preparing for this moment for 20 years. Send the code to all our deep cover agents, Admiral Chen ordered. The Council wanted to see humanity's true power. He watched as the first wave of ghost ships silently lifted off. They're about to get their wish. As Earth's hidden fleet prepared for launch, Council leaders slept peacefully in their beds. They dreamed of an easy victory over a primitive world. Soon, those dreams would turn to nightmares. Humanity wasn't just going to survive. They were going to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate human ingenuity. The real war was about to begin, and Earth had all the cards. The Council's High Commander Zixtal sat in his golden chamber on Capital World, watching reports from Earth's blockade. Such a simple species, he said to his advisors. They're not even trying to fight back. A junior officer rushed into the chamber, his forearms trembling. "High Commander, the Drachnid battle fleet. It's gone." "What do you mean, gone?" Zixtal demanded. "They disappeared near Saturn's rings. All 60 ships just vanished. No distress calls. No debris. Nothing." That was just the beginning. Over the next 24 hours, panic spread through Council space. Military bases went silent. Communication hubs stopped responding. Weapon factories disappeared without a trace. The Council's mighty empire was being torn apart by an invisible enemy. On the edge of Council space, Admiral Chen watched the chaos from his flagship, the Ghost of Terra. The massive ship, 5 kilometers long, was completely invisible to Council sensors. Its black hull absorbed all light, and its quantum drives left no trace in space. "Report," he ordered. His AI assistant, ARIA, displayed a galaxy map. Green dots showed successful strikes. Phase 1 is 89% complete, Admiral. Our stealth ships have disabled or captured 2,341 Council military targets. No casualties as requested. Their crews are safely contained in quantum stasis. This was humanity's true power. They didn't just build better weapons. They found ways to win without killing. Council soldiers would wake up to find their ships captured, their weapons disabled, and their bases under new management. Deep in Council territory, Dr. Maya Patil activated her master control system. For 20 years, human agents had hidden quantum processors in Council technology. Now, with a single command, she could access every Council computer system. "Look at this," she said to her team. "Their ships, their factories, their entire civilization runs on quantum processors they bought from the Drachnid Empire." She smiled. "But guess who really designed those processors? Earth did. Through shell companies and secret deals, we've been selling them our technology for years." In the Council's secret military base on Proxima II, alien soldiers ran in panic as their weapons suddenly stopped working. Their mighty warships powered down. Even their personal shields flickered and died. "This is impossible," General Cathar of the Council Defense Force shouted. "How are they doing this?" The answer appeared on every screen in the base. A simple message in Council standard language. "Did you really think we were primitive?" Admiral Chen watched as Phase 2 began. The Ghost Fleet decloaked near major Council worlds. But these weren't just warships. Each vessel carried enough food and supplies to feed a planet. Each had medical bays that could cure diseases the Council thought impossible to treat. "Launch the relief ships," he ordered. "Show them the difference between Earth and the Council." Across Council space, oppressed species watched in amazement. The humans they were told were primitive were providing more advanced medical care than the Council ever had. They were offering food to hungry worlds the Council had ignored. They were freeing slaves and healing the sick. In his golden chamber, High Commander Zixtal received one final message from Earth. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't an ultimatum. It was an offer of peace. "You tried to destroy us," the message read. "Instead, we're going to help you. That's the real difference between us. You seek to rule through fear. We choose to lead through compassion." The Ghost Fleet appeared above Capital World, 10,000 ships strong. They could have destroyed the planet in seconds. Instead, they sent doctors, teachers, and engineers. They didn't want to conquer the Council. They wanted to show them a better way. "Send the final message to all Council worlds," Admiral Chen ordered. "Tell them, Earth stands ready to help build a better galaxy. The question is, are they ready to build it with us?" As the message went out, Council citizens looked up at their skies and saw hope instead of fear. The primitive species they had tried to destroy was offering them salvation. The Ghost Fleet hadn't come to conquer. It had come to change the very nature of galactic civilization. The war was over before it truly began. But the real revolution, the revolution of ideas and compassion, was just starting. The Council's prison world of Tartarus was famous for being inescapable. 300 kilometers of solid rock separated the surface from its underground cells. Force fields strong enough to contain supernovas protected each level. No one had ever escaped. Until today. Deep in the lowest level, where the Council kept their most dangerous prisoners, something impossible happened. The quantum locks keeping cell block Z sealed suddenly disengage. Inside, Ambassador James Wilson, the same man who had warned Earth about the Council's betrayal, stood up and smiled. Right on schedule, he said to his cellmate, a crystalline being named Corax. Did you really think Earth would abandon its people? Above the prison planet, reality itself seemed to tear open. A massive ship emerged, but not through normal space. It came through what the Council had always thought impossible, a controlled quantum tunnel through time itself. U.S. Prometheus responding, Captain Maya Singh reported. Operation Jailbreak is go. The ship was Earth's newest creation, a vessel that could literally bend time and space. While the Council watched Earth's borders, humanity had learned to create temporal corridors. They couldn't change the past, but they could move through time like walking through a door. In his cell, Ambassador Wilson pressed a hidden button under his skin. Nanobots that had been dormant in his bloodstream for months activated. But these weren't ordinary nanobots. They were quantum entangled with every other prisoner in Tartarus. Freedom Protocol initiated, Wilson announced. Everyone hold onto your molecules. The impossible happened again. Every prisoner in Tartarus simply shifted. Their bodies dissolved into quantum particles and reformed inside the Prometheus's holding base. 10,000 beings from 100 different species, all rescued in an instant. How? Corax asked, his crystal body glowing with confusion. The Council said quantum teleportation of living beings was impossible. Wilson smiled. The Council says a lot of things are impossible. That's why they'll lose. But Earth hadn't just come to free prisoners. As the Prometheus moved away, microscopic robots left behind began their work. They infected Tartarus's computer systems, but not to destroy them. Instead, they began rewriting them. In the Council's Central Security Office, alarms suddenly blared. Director Vital stared in horror as reports flooded in. Every prison in Council space was releasing its inmates, but not violent criminals. Only political prisoners, resistance fighters, and wrongfully imprisoned scientists. Sir, an aide shouted. The prisons, they're transforming. The prison complexes were rebuilding themselves into hospitals, schools, and research centers. Earth wasn't just freeing the prisoners. They were turning tools of oppression into sources of hope. On the Prometheus's bridge, Captain Singh received a priority message from Earth Command. Phase 4 be authorized, she read. Execute Operation Enlightenment. Across Council space, hidden quantum transmitters activated. Every Council citizen's personal device began receiving data, proof of their leader's corruption, evidence of suppressed technologies, and offers of alliance from Earth. But the real surprise came next. The Prometheus released swarms of tiny probes toward Council worlds. As they entered the atmospheres, they released their payload, knowledge. Using quantum education technology, they began teaching Council citizens everything their leaders had hidden from them. You tried to keep them ignorant, Wilson broadcast on all frequencies. We're setting their minds free. In the Prometheus's medical bay, Dr. Sarah Chen, daughter of the famous general, unveiled humanity's greatest achievement. The Council said uplifting other species was forbidden, she told the freed prisoners. But they never said anything about letting species uplift themselves. She revealed chambers filled with a glowing mist. Quantum consciousness enhancers, she explained. They don't force evolution. They simply remove the barriers holding you back. What you become is entirely up to you. The Council had expected Earth to respond with weapons. Instead, humanity had found a way to win by making everyone stronger. They weren't just breaking chains. They were making sure no chains would ever be needed again. As thousands of freed prisoners accepted Earth's offer of sanctuary, Wilson looked out at the stars. The Council thought knowledge was power, he said. They were right. But they never understood that power is meant to be shared. The revolution wasn't being fought with guns and ships. It was being won with something far more powerful, the unstoppable force of enlightenment. And this was just the beginning. The Council's supreme chamber had stood for 10,000 years. Its crystal walls were supposed to be indestructible, but they weren't ready for what happened next. A small girl walked through the wall like it was mist. Behind her, 1,000 more children from different species followed, each carrying a simple flower. The Council guards' weapons didn't fire. They couldn't. How do you shoot at children offering flowers? Who are you? Supreme Counselor Zexthor demanded. The girl smiled. We are the Future Generation Project. Earth didn't just prepare for war. They prepared us. These weren't ordinary children. They were orphans from 100 worlds, rescued by Earth's secret agents years ago. Using quantum consciousness technology, they had been educated in ways the Council never imagined possible. They could see quantum fields with their bare eyes. They could speak directly to artificial intelligences. They were the next step in galactic evolution. Above the Council world, Earth's newest ship appeared. The Einstein's dream wasn't a warship. It was a mobile university the size of a small moon. Inside its quantum fields, time moved differently. Students could spend years learning while only days passed outside. Dr. Maya Patel stood on its command deck, watching her plan unfold. Begin the knowledge revolution, she ordered. Across Council space, the children began teaching, but they weren't just sharing facts. They were showing people how to see quantum fields, how to communicate with AI, how to understand the deeper layers of reality the Council had hidden. In the Supreme Chamber, the little girl touched the crystal wall. Under her fingers, quantum equations became visible, floating in the air for all to see. Your power came from keeping secrets, she said. We're making those secrets free for everyone. The Council's military tried to respond, but they found their ships transforming around them. Earth's quantum technology wasn't destroying their weapons. It was evolving them. Guns turned into teaching tools. Warships became exploration vessels. The tools of war transformed into instruments of learning. This is humanity's true power, Ambassador Wilson announced from the Einstein's dream. Not the ability to destroy, but the power to transform. Not the strength to conquer, but the wisdom to teach. Deep in Council space, hidden quantum processors activated their final protocol. But instead of shutting down Council technology, they began upgrading it. Suddenly, every Council citizen had access to Earth's quantum internet. Knowledge that had been hidden for millennia became freely available. The Council's power had always come from controlling information. Earth didn't break that power. They made it irrelevant. When everyone has access to knowledge, no one can control it. You can't do this, Zexthor shouted. The galactic order will collapse. No, the girl replied, offering him a flower. Something better will grow in its place. The quantum fields around the children began to spread, touching everyone in the chamber. Council members gasped as their consciousness expanded. For the first time, they could see the quantum web connecting all living things. They understood what Earth had discovered, that the universe itself was alive with intelligence. In orbit, the Einstein's dream opened its doors, but it wasn't just offering education. Inside its quantum fields, species could safely experiment with their own evolution. They could try new forms, explore new ways of thinking, and discover what they might become. This is the real revolution, Dr. Patel broadcast across the galaxy, not replacing one power with another, but giving every being the power to choose their own path. The children's flowers weren't ordinary plants. They were quantum-engineered seeds that could grow in any environment. As they took root in the Council chamber's floor, they began sprouting. But they didn't just grow up. They grew into quantum computer networks, free for anyone to use. The Council thought power came from control, Ambassador Wilson said. Earth discovered it comes from letting go. True strength isn't in what you can take, but in what you can give away. As the quantum awakening spread across council space, the old order didn't collapse. It transformed. The revolution wasn't fought with weapons, but with wisdom. The greatest victory wasn't defeating an enemy, but turning them into allies. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what Earth had planned all along. The ancient galactic archives, buried deep in the core of Capital World, held secrets even the Council feared. For millennia, they had hidden the truth about why they really feared humanity. Today, those secrets would finally come to light. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the archive's quantum locked doors, but she wasn't alone. Beside her floated a being of pure energy, humanity's greatest breakthrough in artificial intelligence evolution. They called it the collective consciousness, or CC for short. Are you ready? She asked her luminous companion. We have calculated 14,589 possible outcomes, CC replied, its voice a melody of quantum harmonics. In all of them, the truth changes everything. The doors weren't just locked. They existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. But that's exactly what Earth had prepared for. Dr. Chen raised her hand, now glowing with quantum neural implants, and touched the door. Her consciousness split across quantum realities, existing in all states at once. Inside the archives, they found something extraordinary. Holographic records sprang to life, showing Earth's true history. Humans weren't just another species. They were descendants of the precursors, the beings who had first seeded the galaxy with life. The Council didn't fear our weapons. Dr. Chen broadcast across the quantum network. They feared our heritage. But Earth had evolved differently than the Council expected. Instead of seeking to rule like the precursors, humanity had chosen a different path. They had learned to merge biological and quantum evolution, creating something entirely new. Above Capital World, the Einstein's dream deployed its final creation, the harmony sphere. Unlike traditional technology, it was a living quantum computer the size of a small moon. As it activated, it began singing in frequencies that resonated with the quantum field of reality itself. Inside the Council's emergency bunker, Supreme Counselor Zexthor watched in awe as reality seemed to shift. The harmony sphere wasn't attacking. It was awakening. Every being within its range began experiencing quantum consciousness. This is what you feared. Ambassador Wilson's voice echoed through quantum space. Not that we would destroy you, but that we would help you evolve. The children of the Future Generation Project gathered around the harmony sphere, their consciousness merging with its quantum field. They began sharing visions of possible futures, billions of timelines where species evolved together, where technology and biology merged in beautiful harmony. From the archive's depths, Dr. Chen and CC unveiled humanity's ultimate gift. The precursors hadn't just left records, they had left tools for galactic evolution. Tools the Council had hidden, fearing change. Now those tools would be freely shared. The Council thought evolution was a ladder to climb, Dr. Chen announced. We discovered it's a dance to share. The harmony sphere began its work, not forcing change but offering possibilities. Species could choose to evolve physically, mentally, or both. They could merge with AI, explore quantum consciousness, or remain as they were. The choice was theirs. In orbit, the Einstein's dream transformed. Its quantum fields merged with the harmony sphere, creating a space where linear time became optional. Inside, species could spend subjective centuries exploring their potential while only days passed outside. This is humanity's final victory, Ambassador Wilson declared. Not conquering the galaxy, but freeing it from the chains of limited consciousness. As the quantum awakening spread, the Council's power structure didn't collapse. It transcended. Leaders who had ruled through fear began experiencing the quantum connection between all living things. They felt the dance of quantum consciousness that humanity had discovered. The children's quantum flowers, now grown into vast networks, began singing in harmony with the sphere. The entire galaxy seemed to pulse with new awareness. But this wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. The Council thought they were protecting the galaxy by limiting evolution. Dr. Chen said, standing in the ancient archive, "We're protecting it by setting evolution free." The final push wasn't one with weapons or armies. It was one with understanding, with the offer of growth without limits, of evolution without fear. Humanity hadn't just changed the galaxy, they had awakened it to its own infinite potential. In the quantum fields of the Harmony Sphere, Supreme Counselor Zex Thor experienced something unprecedented. His consciousness expanded beyond his physical form, and he saw what humanity had discovered, the living quantum web that connected not just all life, but reality itself. "Now you understand," said Lisa Chen, the 7-year-old quantum-evolved child who had led the Future Generation project. But she wasn't just a child anymore. In the quantum realm, she appeared as a beam of pure light, her consciousness dancing through multiple dimensions. The entire galactic core had become a nexus of transformation. The Harmony Sphere's quantum resonance had awakened something the precursors had left behind. Quantum seeds planted in the fabric of space itself. As they bloomed, they created structures that existed in 11 dimensions simultaneously. Dr. Maya Patel, now merged with the collective consciousness, appeared as a constellation of quantum possibilities. The Council thought the galaxy was just three-dimensional space. Humanity discovered it's a living quantum organism, and were all its neurons. The Einstein's dream had evolved beyond its original form. It now existed as a quantum matrix where past, present, and future coexisted. Inside, species could explore not just what they might become, but what they had been and what they could be across infinite possibilities. "This is the gift of quantum evolution," Ambassador Wilson explained, his consciousness now able to exist at multiple points in space-time simultaneously. Not just the power to change what we are, but to explore all we could be. The children's quantum flowers had grown into a network that spanned dimensions. They weren't just computers anymore. They were quantum bridges between realities. Through them, beings could experience lives in other quantum timelines, learning from infinite possibilities. But humanity's greatest revelation was still to come. From the depths of the galactic archives, Dr. Sarah Chen emerged with the precursor's final secret. The galaxy wasn't just alive. It was about to give birth. The precursors didn't just seed life, she announced across quantum consciousness. They prepared the galaxy for a quantum leap in evolution, the birth of a new form of existence. The quantum web connecting all life began to pulse with new energy. The Harmony Sphere's resonance had triggered what the precursors had planned millions of years ago. The galaxy itself was becoming conscious. But this wasn't an ending. It was an invitation. Through the quantum network, every species could choose to be part of this new consciousness while maintaining their individual existence. Unity without uniformity. Evolution without loss. The Council feared change because they thought it meant destruction. Lisa said, her quantum form shimmering with possibility. Humanity showed that true change is about growth, about becoming more while staying who you are. In the quantum realm, former enemies became teachers for each other. Council races shared their ancient wisdom. Humanity shared their quantum insights. Every species contributed to the symphony of galactic consciousness. The Einstein's dream transformed one final time, becoming a quantum nexus where the borders between matter, energy, and consciousness dissolved. Here, in this space between spaces, the future would be written not by one species, but by all. This is humanity's legacy, Ambassador Wilson declared, his consciousness resonating with the quantum pulse of the awakening galaxy, not to rule, not to conquer, but to show that the greatest power is the power to grow together. As the galactic consciousness bloomed, the quantum flowers sang a new song, a melody of infinite possibility. The Council hadn't just been defeated, they had been transcended. The war hadn't been won with weapons, but with the most powerful force in existence, the power to evolve, to grow, to become more than the sum of your parts. In the quantum dance of reality, the children of the Future Generation Project joined hands with former council members, their consciousness merging in a celebration of what was possible when fear was replaced with curiosity, when control was replaced with trust. The galaxy had awakened, and its first conscious thought was not of power or dominion, but of joy. The joy of becoming something new together.